Hello, good evening and welcome to One Life Left. We are a video game radio show broadcasting live across London on Resonance 104.4 FM. I am Steve Curran.
Hello, I am Simon Byron.
And I'm Anne Scantlebury.
Hello, hi.
How's it going?
Really good. It's hot though, isn't
it hot?
Back to being hot in the Resonance FM studios.
Ooh.
Do you recognise anything different about me?
Yeah, you look very handsome, Simon.
Is that a new shirt?
Not different.
It's not. It's a very old shirt, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I often wear this on a Monday. Don't know why.
I've never noted it before.
Well, maybe you should pay more
Maybe
attention
I
now.
New glasses?
No.
Looking a bit tanned, maybe?
Well, it's
Tan?
not natural, isn't it?
Okay.
Are you looking slimmer?
Are you taller?
No.
Okay.
No. No.
What are the other
Oh
dimensions?
my god, are you pregnant?
Wow. One of you is the father. I've had a tooth out since last week.
Congratulations.
Three-quarters of the wise that I was. Yeah, I had to have a wisdom tooth out. And terrified of something called dry socket.
Ooh.
What is that?
Sounds like a DIY problem.
When you have a tooth out, they sort of just send you on your way with some gauze in your mouth. It just says like chew on this for 15 minutes, and what they're trying to do is get a blood clot. It's my top right wisdom tooth is no longer there, Anne, in case you ever have to identify the body.
Oh, she'll know whose body it is.
And you have to let a blood clot form, and then what you need to be careful of subsequently is that blood clot falling out and just having a hollow hole directly to your bone, which will involve all sorts of pain and so got to be careful, Steve. It could fall out at any time.
Can't you put something there?
It's all right, Saucy.
That's not the time, is it? Okay. How are you doing,
So you
Anne?
have to be careful, all right? Watch out for clots.
How are you doing, Anne?
I'm okay, thank you. I'm a little bit tired today, but on the whole, good. I got sunburnt this weekend because it was very sunny.
Oh, congratulations. Where were you?
Brighton. I went down there to see my niece.
I mean, it's been sunny everywhere, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So that doesn't...
But, by the sea,
Yeah.
I had a bikini on.
What?
I was beach body ready.
So I just lost a clot. Really?
Yeah, it was excellent. Had
Right.
a lovely, lovely time. Yeah.
Good.
Excellent.
Steve, how you doing?
Good, thanks. Met some men from the internet on Saturday.
Did you again? Again. How are we going to identify your body?
Blood clots everywhere.
Who are these men?
Some men who I posted a message on the internet asking...
On Craigslist?
On Bebo.
Right.
Asking if anyone wanted to play bad cricket with me, and some men replied, and we all turned up and sheepishly
Were they
played
men
cricket
that have
with
been
each other.
waiting for this message to come through? Just sort of bad cricket men going, if only hit
someone...
F12.
Someone make the first move, and I did, and it's excellent. And guess what? We've actually formed a cricket club now.
Have you?
Archbishop's Amateur Cricket
Oh,
Club.
fantastic.
Wow.
Congratulations.
So I'll let you know how that's going. But otherwise, it's been a busy week and a good week, I think.
Good. Tonight's guest, Sam Barlow. Hello, Sam.
Hi.
You normally get a bigger introduction than that, but I feel like you don't need one. You're the man of the moment. You glad you travelled all the way up from Portsmouth to listen to this?
Yeah, this is lovely. I'm particularly enjoying the sweaty headphones.
Thank you
here.
so much for
Very
coming
nice.
in. Right. Journey up here was pleasant, was it?
Yeah, I just kind of slept on the train.
Okay. Well, thank you for making the effort. I had no idea you were travelling so far. That's really kind of you. Of course, Sam is the man behind the Her Story. Is it Her Story or Her Story? Her Story.
That's correct. Her Story.
Which one is both? Her Story or Her Story?
Her Story.
Which Her Story?
Is it like Michael Jackson's his story?
No.
Okay.
No,
Well,
that's something that's come up a lot.
Her
as well.
story.
It's kind of-
Her story prompted something that's never happened on One Life Left before. We had to stop Anne from reviewing a game because I wanted to play it. Are we going to be able to get through this show without giving anything away? That's been my chief concern.
This is the thing I'm most worried about because I've had a whole week of people trying to get me to clarify or kind of, side with them or their mum or whoever they're arguing with. But luckily I can just kind of put the phone down, whereas here I've got three people who can physically
What would you
hold
prefer
me down.
then? Would you prefer ambiguity? Or
Let's try that. Let's see how many loops we have to kind of throw ourselves through to.
Good. All right. Well, we'll come back to that, but we're going to start the show as we always do, and that is with Anne's News.
It's 7:05 on Monday the 6th of July. I'm Anne Scantlebury and this is the news. Square Enix has removed the Mac version of Final Fantasy XIV from sale due to bugs and poor performance. Customers are being offered refunds following an apology from producer and director Naki Yoshida for its poor performance in comparison with the Windows version. Square Enix also announced the wrong system requirements before release, meaning many weren't able to run the game on their Macs. It may be every video game consumer's first and Final Fantasy to get games shipped without bugs and performance issues.
Should have done what Warner did, shouldn't they? They just uploaded new specs the night before Batman came out. You were shaking your head there, Sam.
It's just bad, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Bad form.
How long had the game been out, Anne?
So it came out on the 23rd of June.
Okay, so this was on sale for a while before they decided to own up.
Yeah, to go, what? Sorry guys, you can't actually, it's not doing very well. Yes, they've taken it away. He has said, it's my fault. The buck stops at me. Everyone else was involved in it, but it's my fault. Feels like he's laying himself down on the line for this and for all of the mistakes that have come with it, but...
What number Final Fantasy is this?
14.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that.
Is that where we are now? Okay. 14. And when was the last Final Fantasy you played, Simon?
7, again.
7. Okay, so this is double 7.
Yeah, I know. It's
twice as good.
Bad, yeah.
Well, they're just doing 7 again, aren't they?
They are doing 7 more, yeah.
7 twice.
Again, talking about spoilers, does that mean that becomes a spoiler again, the thing about Final Fantasy 7?
I guess it does.
Does it?
It does, yeah. You're not allowed to do it twice as much now. Okay, well, this is bad news. You've led the news with a bug report, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And there are 4 more stories?
That are all equally high quality.
Let's see.
Microsoft has announced the date of its Gamescom press conference. Get out your diaries and block out 3 p.m. on Tuesday the 4th of August, where you can expect to hear more about Crackdown, Xbox One exclusive Scalebound, and many more surprises. In an effort to be different, Sony has elected to hold its press conference during Paris Games Week in October. Good stories this week, right?
Diary update for you. Yeah, bug report. Diary update.
Just getting the admin out of the way up the top end of the show.
Have you got a to-do list as well? We're going to run through.
Story 5 is just going to be any other business.
This is unusual, though, to have so much distance between the two, isn't it?
Isn't it?
E3, it was mere hours.
Yeah.
Famously, a couple of years ago, obviously Sony were able to react to the disc sharing on the Xbox One with a little funny video, and now they're going to have 6 weeks to think of a joke. It's going to be really good.
They're going to get an excellent PowerPoint presentation in there at some point.
We'll have longer, won't we? Because we're off during August. So our Gamescom jokes are going to be
exactly
on point, aren't they? Are you going to Gamescom, Simon?
I am, Steve. Are you going?
I think I am as well. I'm going to find out today. Didn't confirm, but yes,
okay,
probably.
I'm all booked up, so...
Okay,
we should hang.
We should hang, and maybe while we're out there, we could
maybe we could
do something.
Maybe we could. What could that possibly be?
We could.
You're not coming, Anne, are you?
No.
Good, because that means Steve can just
maybe we could
just do that thing.
Sony has updated the PS4's hardware design, making it cheaper to produce, more power efficient and quieter. The new model is currently only available in Japan, and boy have they changed some fiddly sounding stuff on the inside. It's been given a new power supply which is 80 grams lighter and has a lower output, contributing to a standby power that's somewhere between 30 to 50% lower compared to the launch unit. We could baffle you with numbers, but the main thing to learn is that the fan is quieter.
That was killer. That was.
Yep.
Really
what's the ampage on that power supply? What's the voltage throughput on that?
It's less or fewer than previously.
You're going to get a PS4, aren't you, Anne?
Yes, I am.
And you're going to Japan.
I am. Wait a minute.
You could have more or less ampere than us.
Fewer.
And a quieter fan.
Yeah, which is great and exciting. I guess the main thing is if they're making, so obviously it's only out in Japan at the minute, but if they're starting to, if they've got a new design which is cheaper, hopefully when it does roll out, just be cheaper, everyone can get one.
Right.
Just get 4.
So are you going to hold off then?
Maybe. Yeah.
The difficulty now is that if you didn't hold off and you just bought one, you would notice the fan more, wouldn't you?
I would.
And you'd be just
just
picturing those people in Japan able to whisper while they're playing.
Does the lower amount of amperage...
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Does that mean it's going to generate less heat, fewer heats?
It's going to be colder.
It's going to be colder. Well, it's interesting then, because this might factor into your decision. My cat's favourite place to sit in the home is on the PS4 while Netflix is on.
Right.
Specifically Mad Men.
Right, okay.
I don't know if that generates more heat amps.
So do you want Steve's cat, is what he's asking?
No, I'm saying if you want to, get a console for your cat to sit on, then maybe you want the older version for more heat.
My cat threw up on my PS3.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably didn't.
Wouldn't you have to get a Miu?
Oh yeah, Sam, that's the other rule. Don't bang the desk. That's
You've got a joke incoming.
NASA has blown up a couple of Microsoft's in-development headsets HoloLens. Microsoft recently announced that the HoloLens will be used as a Minecraft peripheral, but before that was announced, NASA was using it to help teams on Earth and in space communicate better. The headsets were on their way to the International Space Station when the unmanned shuttle they were on blew up. Rumours that a P. Morpheus was in charge of takeoff as are yet unconfirmed.
Would you have done that joke if that spaceship was manned?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
But somehow it's acceptable, is it? Then?
Yeah,
right,
but
okay.
a bit of metal flying around. Lol.
I see. Right.
What do you think they mean by helping people communicate using HoloLens? Do we know what that means?
Yes. So what it means is that someone on Earth will be able to see what the person in space or on Mars is seeing.
How many people are currently on Mars? Just fill me in
This is
there.
future. They talk about the use that it will have in the. This new technology could also empower future explorers, requiring greater autonomy on the journey to Mars.
So they
a copy of King Kong on HD DVDs.
So it empowers people. It enables them to see what the other person is seeing.
So you can see what the
Imagine
other person
that,
is seeing, but also you can give them advice and draw little diagrams that they can
that's
see in front of
impossible
their
at the moment,
eyes.
isn't
Can't you
it?
just use a camera?
Yeah.
Is that not?
No,
Why not?
because you can also draw diagrams and like send them little
Paper.
pictures and stuff.
Paper.
What, you're going to
Sticks
send
and paper.
You're going to send paper
A ream
to
of
space?
500 sheets of A4. Slip that in your spaceship.
You're going to send that into space?
No, but you've got a camera. You go, look, I've just drawn this, and you hold up a man's privates. There you go. Billions of dollars of technology.
And finally, One Life Left's Mike Bithell has released action figures of the Thomas Was Alone characters, and oh my gosh, they are so lifelike. The plastic models come in the colours and shapes of your favourite blocky characters. For £20, you can get replicas of Thomas, Claire, Chris and John to recreate your best moments with. Make Thomas jump over John, get Chris riding around on Claire, but whatever you do, don't get them mixed up with your Tetris action figures.
So when you say Bithers has released them,
Yeah.
what did he do?
Well, he outsourced it.
Did he? Are you sure? Because I like to imagine him in his workshop, chiseling away.
Yeah.
Santa Bithers, Father Bithell, chiseling a cube for
Creating them out of...
Top off, obviously.
Top
pausing only now and again just to wipe his brow and
drink
listen
a
to Danny
Diet
Wallace.
Coke.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard he laid them like an egg.
really.
Yeah, and they're obviously
Painful.
painful
Yeah.
shapes, so
Occasionally
he
one of them-
suffered for
John's
his
not.
art.
John's okay.
Occasionally one of them drops out gold. No one knows why. Well, this is nice, isn't it? People feel affectionately towards the Thomas Was Alone characters. Do we get a cut of this? We should promote this pretty hard. This sounds excellent.
They are incredible.
Have you asked anyone for a quote on whether this will be the must-have Christmas gift? Simon, Christmas.
Will this be the must-have Christmas gift?
These Thomas Was Alone action figures are the must-have Christmas gift for your Christmas. 7 out of 10.
Thanks, Anne.
One Life Left video game news with Anne Scantleberry.
You're listening to One Life Left on Resonance 104.4 FM. This is Clam, it's from chipmusic.org. If you want to download more of that, I suggest you do. I really like doing that.
It's nice, isn't it?
Well, not if you talk over the loud bit.
But you're doing it and I'm talking.
No, it's quiet now. Right, say something.
Stop turning it up.
Professionals. We're a video game radio show. We've been doing this for 9 years and it doesn't get old.
Hey, so just going back to what we were chatting about before this music, you mentioned that we sort of forgot to get anything in place with Mike Biffle for all future royalties.
It's true, but he's a kind man.
Can we?
He honours his word, I think.
Yeah, I wonder. What do we do about Sam here?
Interesting. I'm glad we're having this conversation off air.
Just put the music up a bit. No one will be able to hear it.
Well, I can't hear you. So, he's the man of the moment. Like,
He's the man of the moment, isn't he?
But this isn't the first time he's been interviewed, though. So, whereas with Biffle, it definitely was.
Interesting.
We've got his sweat on the headphones.
Sam, welcome back.
I'm listening to this.
Welcome back. It's nice to see you again. The last time we saw you, you were a baby.
It's true. I fondly remember those hours I spent in your arms.
How you've grown.
Yeah.
But we saw promise, Sam.
We did
see promise in your baby eyes, and we thought we'd back you, and now here you are. And we're not going to claim credit for that sort of thing, are we? We're just glad.
Exactly.
We're glad
help you along the way.
Glad we could help.
So we're going to talk now specifically about Her Story, which is a game currently the darling of almost everybody I follow on Twitter and everybody I know. It's a detective type game. We're going to try and talk around it.
Yeah, that's the fun thing to do,
without giving anything away. But I was astonished that the butler did it. I mean, how clever of you to force in some sort of crime trope without making it look cliched.
Very clever.
I think that's people with video games. Their expectations of stories are so low. You can just throw that in, and they're like, they didn't even know what a butler is. Who has a butler now?
The butler didn't do it. As far as I can see, there's no butler in it, whether that's a spoiler or not. So tell us about Her Story, Sam.
So Her Story is a game I brought out a few weeks ago, and the basic premise is you are sat in front of a crappy old 90s computer in a police archive room in a basement somewhere, and you interact directly with this computer, and you have this kind of police database, and you can search it to find video clips taken from a series of interviews with this particular woman back in 1994. And so there's a kind of cold case vibe. your basic role is to come in there and search through this database and try and put the pieces together. And the way that you do this, which is kind of what gives it its interesting feel, is you basically type in words to search for, and it will give you all the clips in which the woman uses those words. So, the game opens with the word murder, and so you get a bunch of clips in which she's talking about murder, but, in different scenarios, in different contexts. So a lot of it is about making you think like a detective, and it gives you the kind of feel of being a detective without actually having you kind of push a detective character around an open world shooting bad guys and driving cars.
Normally, whenever a game like this appears on the scene, I tend to not like them. I'm not sure whether that's a deliberate thing.
You are difficult.
I am difficult,
but I think you're honest as well.
I'm hoping you'll be biased because you've obviously been behind me all this time, been by my side. A father figure almost.
Just brought you here to express my anger. I was playing it over. I was playing it over maybe 2 days, sometimes on the train, on my laptop on the train. And what struck me about her story was my commute into London is sort of half an hour, and so I sat there just tapping away. And it's a game which is such a brave game in the way that it's so clever in how sorry, I'm making too many points here, but the way that the freedom that you give a player when they don't know what to do and they can type any word in. There was a moment, so you type the word in and it goes accessing the database. There's a moment where it's pretend words and goes retrieving database. The train went through the tunnel and I was like, oh, okay, well the internet's going to cut out now and therefore I won't be able to get this, even though it's on the hard drive. And so it was at that moment I was like, yeah, you've totally got me here. So was it a difficult choice just to sit the player down with essentially their vocabulary?
I don't think so. I think it was. I certainly didn't expect it to go as big as it has done. So I wasn't expecting it to be exposed to scrutiny, and I wasn't expecting it to please everybody. So I kind of knew that it was an interesting idea, and it had some kind of aspects to it that would make it more unique. So that kind of felt like the cool thing that I was going to kind of hold on to. I think that was an important part of it for me, was giving you that sense of the unknown. Like I'm hugely into old text games when I was a kid, right? And then the promise of those was you would have the flashing cursor, type anything, and there was this black void of the screen, and you'd type words in, and 1 out of 1,000 times you'd actually understand what you typed, and it'd be magical. Suddenly stuff would happen because of these words you typed. And so I think a big part of this game for me was trying to give you that sense of just, free associating, coming up with words, thinking about stuff and typing them in, and then things appearing.
But the way, given that you've got complete freedom, and I think at the start everybody's journey will be broadly speaking similar. I think so. To explain, you don't receive all of the clips that come up. So if you just type one word in, only 5 results come up. So you often see that there's more to this, but you just can't access it. And so how on earth do you plot that sort of thing out?
The key moment for me was when I realised that I shouldn't plot it out, and I spent like half of the dev time just kind of thinking about the story, writing all these detailed backstories and stuff. And then when I came to sit down and write the dialogue, the characters just kind of spoke to each other and just kind of rabbited on for these 7 interview sessions. And I wanted it to have that feel of being somewhat kind of naturalistic in the way they were talking to each other. And then I just used lots of maths and I just stuck it in a giant spreadsheet that kept crashing my MacBook. And that giant spreadsheet would go, mathematically there's some issues with these words or these particular clips. They are harder or easier to kind of sort through and stuff. So it was kind of, the writing process was quite organic and fun. And then there was a bit at the end that was kind of sculptural, it was like stepping back and then coming in to chisel away at bits and pieces to kind of give it a pleasing shape. But it was the freedom to not script stuff which kind of appealed. Right.
And you mentioned you're a fan of old games. This is her story sort of succeeds despite itself, because people go, it's an FMV game, which there are many bad FMV games and only very, very few ones, and certainly none that have been made recently. combined with a text adventure. But it seems to tap into a lot of things. Like I think the popularity of something like Serial, where everybody feels that they want to be a detective and stuff like that. It's do you think you're gonna kickstart the genre again, or that? Are we going to see Psychocosm 2?
A good example of my naivety is I didn't even realise it was an FMV game until I started showing it to people, and they went, "Oh man, you made an FMV game." Because I was thinking the game about accessing a database, the game about police interviews were the weird, they were the kind of headline things, and the fact they had video in it was almost like a reaction to YouTube and stuff. So
right.
I didn't associate it with kind of 90s CD-ROMs. I was kind of thinking this makes sense. And then as I was developing it, the storyline kind of pushed it back into last century. So then I guess it started to take on that vibe of VHS, 90s, and at that point I hadn't realised that I made an FMV game.
So I guess the film, we should talk about Hannah, or the actress that plays Hannah, who is sensational in it. I guess it must have been a tricky thing to record, because would she been able to ad-lib, or?
No, she wasn't allowed
Okay.
to. Yeah, it was, again, I think a big strength we had was both bringing some naivety into it. So, when I got Viva to sign up to it, she was, keen to do it, yes. Then I sent her the script through, which I'd put in a font size that was convenient to me. So she was like, oh, 300 pages, what on earth is this? So I then changed the font size, sent it back, 100 pages, whatever. But yeah, we had a week to record it, and we kind of shot, each interview day was essentially contiguous, rendition of that particular series of interviews, and it was just ridiculously intense. Yeah, she had to say the words as they were written,
right.
And she was the only performer. So normally when you're acting in something, there's other people to bounce stuff off. You can have a quiet moment while someone else has their scene or their close-up, but it was just on her. So I think about halfway through the shoot, we were both feeling this is what it must be like to be scrutinised by the police for a series of interviews. We're ready to confess.
Would you work in that sort of medium again?
I definitely have other kind of cool ideas that are quite different, that involve video and play around with video with interactivity. I would have to think about whether I would become Mr. Video, because obviously it's kind of a weird thing within video games now. So yeah, I'd have to think about it.
What are your other games that you've worked on?
The good ones.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
I mean, way back when, you probably remember this from my childhood when you were there supporting me. There's a text game called Isle, which was back in the kind of early days of the internet, when cool people were out making cool text games and just trying to do interesting creative stuff. And that was a game where you had a single move and you could type anything, and it took place in a supermarket. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of a very big commercial project for me.
It's that tie-in with Tesco that did it, right?
and that was way before I even realised you could have a job in the video games industry. At that point, it just didn't occur to me you could do that.
What year was that?
It was 1999.
Okay. I'm fairly sure that we did Isle on No Continues.
Right.
It's one of the spin-off shows that Simon doesn't like because we deal with games like Isle. But I think Isle's a really, really interesting game, because it's the sort of game that people who don't play games can discover, play, and almost not realise they're playing a video game, because it's so different to what they imagine video games to be like. And that's what surprised me about her story. Was I was very, very excited about it coming out, expecting to see some mentions in my timeline, and sure enough, the usual suspects played it, as did Simon as well, which was a surprise. But then also people who don't play video games were cropping up in my mentions, having played your work. Is that something you've noticed as well?
Yeah, and that's always been something that I get quite excited about. So the other good game I've made, by my standards, is the Wii game Silent Hill Shattered Memories, which again, when we made that game, it was very exciting because Wii had blown up, and that's a good phrase, isn't it? And we were really excited about the fact that there would be a whole load of people who didn't normally play games who would now have a Wii in their living room or in their house that they would maybe be drawn into. And our focus was very much on, let's make a game that works for those people. And for me, the idea of making something that's quite simple and accessible, but actually still has a lot of richness to it, is just that's kind of the goal.
Mm-hmm. How's it done?
It's done very, very well.
I mean, has that surprised you? I mean, I know that whenever you make a game, you sort of you have hopes, and then you probably have expectations. But yeah, have you been surprised?
Yeah, I mean, it's done like 100 times what I was expecting. I thought this would be a cool thing I'd put out and would have some word of mouth, and over time would kind of pay for itself. But I mean, it kind of broke even in like a day or something, and at one point we were number 2 on Steam when it first came out.
Fantastic.
It was only Counter-Strike was holding us back. And then like on the iPad we were just below Minecraft.
Right.
It felt like I was actually going to take over the video games industry for that moment. I think everybody I follow on Twitter has now played it, which does. I am worried that maybe this is just a dream and I'm going to wake up, because surely not everyone has played it.
And when can we expect the merchandise?
I've got to figure it out. I mean, lots of people are asking me for the tell-all secrets book or whatever. So I'm sure I could actually just rip people off for a £1 DLC. This is the definitive guide.
If you want us to have a word with the elves in Bithel's workshop, we can do something.
Hello, I'm Sega Badawi, and welcome to One Life Left Local News. A prominent scientist has had to resign from the board of a local Pokemon university after he was reported to make sexist comments. Professor Oak was at a conference in Saffron City when he said that women were distracting in the workplace. He pointed out that a close friend, Brock, lost control whenever he was around women, such as Nurse Joy or Officer Jenny. However, there was a backlash by people online, with prominent women posting pictures of themselves at work to show how silly his comments were. Lara Croft stood by an ancient temple, Alex Vance was building a new robot, and Bayonetta stood on top of a fighter plane flying through a city whilst trying to destroy a golden dragon thing. Professor Oak resigned not long after the online feedback grew too fierce. I guess it's not just the Pokemon that need to evolve. Thanks, and back to your usual programming.
Email, messages, and forward BCC. One Life Letters.
Thank you very much for all your correspondence this week. I have to say, I've not seen a reaction to a call out for letters just by saying that someone's on the show than I had done with Sam today. We mentioned he's on, and that's all we do to ask for your letters. So most of them are about you, Sam. Apologies. First is from Ben Hall. He says, hello team, plus a super special guest. I've been playing your super special guest game and I'm finding it very interesting. I haven't solved it yet, so please don't spoil it by telling me that Barbara Windsor did it or the innocent Derek Bentley. Anyway, partway through playing the game, I reached a section that totally ruined the game for me, and I've not been able to play it since. So I'm hoping that you could let me know. Why did you spell Lloyd Grossman's name with 2 L's? EA didn't make this mistake in their Chef Team DLC for FIFA 16, so you have no excuse, unless the game is set in a parallel universe. Cheerio, Ben.
Oh man, can I go now and just get that patch out there? Quick emergency patch through Apple.
How many words are in the game?
A lot, so that's my excuse.
Right,
I'm going to blame
exactly.
all the testers. I'm not going to do that thing where you take responsibility if you're in game.
No.
I'm just going to say they shouldn't have let that through.
Hey team, and Sam, I've played through her story and it's fantastic. Really love what you've done with the storytelling, the way that no matter what order you unlock the clips, it seems to result in an intriguing reveal where the whole thing's presented, the attention to detail right down to the clacking keys and office hum in the background, even the way the hidden minigame ties into the themes. I do have one question about it though, writes Anthony Gowland. Has she gone and done a murder then? Lots of love, Columbo. Any comments, Sam?
No, but I wanted to tell people so they knew how hard I worked at this, that the keys, when you type in things on the keys, each individual key has its own stereo location, so that as you do pan
That's
across
disgusting.
the keys. My wife caught me trying to record the sound of the different keys on an old keyboard and told me I was going too far. And so I just then went for the simple stereo panning, but I told her it was important. And obviously the listener appreciates that level of detail.
Dear team and special guest, the first and only time I wrote your award-winning show, I was lucky enough to have my letter chosen as the best letter. Although there wasn't a prize for submitting such a great piece of work, it was reward enough to hear your own words spoken through your mouths. That is a compliment, by the way. this leads to my question to you all. If you could have the voice of any video game character, who would it be and why? I think it would be quite fun for a while if I could call people on the telephone and say, "Hey, it's me, Stefan, with the voice of Mario. Love the show, Stefan."
The voice of Mario is not that hard to do, is it?
Well, as Anna's just put it out.
Whose voice would you have?
That's a good question.
What are the famous voices? Finish him, the Mortal Kombat commentator.
I would have KK Slider's voice.
Oh,
good call.
It's good. It's good. It's good. It's
just
good.
sing and serenade people with that.
That's nice.
Steve,
Lovely noise.
would you have the voice of Parappa the Rapper?
I would have the voice of Prince Master Flea Swallow in Parappa the Rapper, who sings about his flea market. That'd be excellent.
Oh, I'm just trying to think. There's a Nintendo game which goes. It's just somebody having a go at you with a go. It sounds like a typewriter, like an electronic typewriter.
The little mole in Animal Crossing. He's the most aggressive.
Maybe
that is.
characters.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. It's good.
Him then. Question for Sam. Hannah Flynn writes from Fail Better Games. Have you heard of those guys?
I know some of those people.
Fans of yours. She says, "Hello team and super special guest. I'd like to know, straight to the point, Hannah, have you heard from people who don't typically play games and who've enjoyed her story? What kind of feedback are you getting from them?"
Yes, no, I mean, we were saying, lots of people are playing it with their partners, with their parents, with other people, and then we've had a lovely amount of coverage in kind of real newspapers that, for people that don't read gaming blogs and stuff, especially in Germany. Big hit in Germany, in the German press. So a lot of those people, and they have the same reaction where they kind of play it for a while and enjoy it, and then they go, "Oh, I was playing a video game. You tricked me. I had no idea. You snuck up on me, you devil." So that's cool, And the interesting thing is, I had no idea people would try and kind of 100% this game, and I thought it would just be kind of hardcore gamers, but actually it seems to be normal people as well coming in and getting obsessive and staying up till 3 a.m.
Do you think that you can come away from this game having not seen everything and still have a decent amount of knowledge and having had a good experience of it?
Yeah, there's kind of, without spoiling anything, there's kind of a soft ending. There's a kind of a point in the game where it sort of gives you permission to leave. It's kind of like, you've seen enough. If you feel happy, you can walk away. Or if you want to stay late after class, you can, come and do extra work with teachers. So there's, I think people can make their choice at that point, and they should. Yeah, you don't. I wasn't expecting people to go and see everything 100%. I did think that would be the more obsessive end of things, but at the moment it's currently about 25% of players have done that.
Wow,
which is quite a lot, because that's like normally you hear 5 people finish a game, and this is people that have not only finished it but rinsed it.
Crikey. What's it called in German?
Oh, you put me on the spot now. I haven't obviously localised it because that would be a nightmare because of the way the game works. So I'm assuming it's just her story in a German accent.
Great, and you've got the final letter, Sam.
Okay, here we go. This isn't about me, but it's quite moving. Hello team and SSG. This week I've been watching Quinn's Cogwatch series for RPS. Each episode he analyses a single mechanic from a game. For instance, the way that the rhythm element of Crypt of the Necro Dancer turns a slow, thoughtful turn-based game into a quick, thoughtful action game. This is quite involved, I've also discovered teeny-design.tumblr.com, which looks at individual moments of design in games, like how the muted palette of Fallout 3 makes the green and red HUD elements stick out. It's made me remember the first time I played Limbo. The speed at which you're allowed to respawn and try again told me that I was going to die a lot. I went from fearing death to almost looking forward to the next stupid murder trap. Do any of you have a favourite mechanic? A favourite little moment of design that gives you a warm, fuzzy glow? Pip, pip, Robert. P.S. I've definitely still got a prize due, so potential. So
essentially, this is a letter of complaint dressed up as some observation.
There was a stinger there in the PS.
Okay.
The design choice I am enjoying the most at the moment is Splatoon's decision not to have voice chat.
Mm-hmm. Right.
My 6-year-old son is enjoying the hell out of Splatoon. We got involved in the Splatfest of the weekend. It's good to see him sort of.
So that's her story in German.
It's good to see him earn in-game currency and work out what weapons and clothing he's going to spend it on, and I know that I can, if I choose to step away from the room, I know that he's not going to be shouted at or he's not going to learn any new words. So well done, Nintendo, on that.
Still thinking about this. This is a really, really good question.
I think my favourite, I'm going to call this a mechanic, is the jump in Metroid Prime. Is the little psst noise that you make when you jump, and the way the camera tilts down a little bit. It's such a beautiful little jumpy, noisy thing, which reminds me of Splatoon, where the kind of noise of the paint in Splatoon is so tactile and evocative. This kind of, did I call it paint then? I realise it's not paint, it's ink.
Right.
Which is the thing that continues to cause tension in my household, because when my children are playing Splatoon, they're there going, oh, spray ink. And that isn't ink, it's paint. And Nintendo know that, and I don't know what they're playing at.
Were you pop or rock this weekend?
My children were rock, but we only made it back for the last 10 minutes.
Well,
we were out camping, so we
Every victory counted, Sam.
Yeah, no, we were in a lot of trouble for having planned a camping trip during Splatfest, and we just made it back in the door.
Thank you so much for your letters this week. If you want to email us for next week, the address to email is
team@onelifeleft.com.
Previously on GameUnder.
I know it's been over a month, but I've been in deep cover. It's actually going to blow the lid off the games industry. Please get the message out there.
So I've just landed at LAX. It's the 30th of May. I've been to Disneyland, needed to get that one out of the way early. Met Mickey Mouse, no big deal. Anyway, here's the plan. I'm heading to EA's headquarters. I've applied for a job which I know I'm not going to get, but by rejecting me they'll be proving that it's impossible to get ahead as a straight white male in the games industry. Also, I have no programming skills at all. I can barely type. I've exaggerated a little on my CV, so hopefully they won't notice that. Here we go, let's go uncover some corruption. Well, that didn't go as expected. I got the job. They didn't even look at my CV. They just asked me if I like sports, and I said yes. They say I'm starting tomorrow. Change of plan. Now I work for EA, I can uncover even more corruption and misandry from the inside. I'll take my microphone with me tomorrow and we'll see how it goes. No doubt I'll be offered a bribe by a journalist almost immediately. Till next time on GameUnder.
You're listening to One Life Left on Resonance 104.4 FM. This is Kuro, it's from chipmusic.org. Before that, you heard the magnificent GameUnder. He's gone undercover.
Has he actually got a job in EA?
Yeah, he's
genuinely
gone properly undercover.
Congratulations.
So we'll find out how much misandry and gender bias he.
If he sends us a copy of Star Wars, we'll give it 7, won't we? Guaranteed.
Yeah. Zero question of that. Okay, so we've done. What have we done? Done the features.
Yep.
Check. Done the letters.
We had the news.
We did do the news. Sort of. Really got through it.
Got through it. There were 5 of them.
There were 5
of them.
There were 5 of them. So it is time for the reviews.
Yeah.
Should we do that?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Was that you filling?
It literally wasn't. It was me working out what was next.
Okay. I thought you had something lined up.
And also, let's say yes.
Okay,
it was.
That's good.
Thanks.
Good filling.
Well done.
Thanks, guys. Okay, what have you been playing this month, Simon? Week?
Well, Anne and I are going to have to go together, aren't we?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about her story then, Anne? Because you can just chat about it without giving anything away. Because I sort of hogged Sam's time during the interview there.
So my ears are burning. My ears are burning now.
I just don't know how to talk about it without
Do you think people should go out and buy it?
7 out of 10.
All right, what sort of game is it, Anne?
Well, as Sam previously explained, it's an FMV game where you're playing a detective who has...
Do you go around in it?
You do not go around.
Right,
this
so
is
you
one
only
thing.
like games where you go around.
Yeah.
So this is interesting.
However,
it's already challenging.
Well, I guess it is a going around game of sorts. You're going around a database and your mind.
Interesting.
So you're given this database and you basically use words as a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
So each clip comes with a tag from the words in it. Did you add tags? You're able to add your own tags.
I didn't add any of my own tags.
I started thinking about it slightly too late, and then I was a bit annoyed with myself.
Yeah.
At what point did you start typing random words in, and what were those words?
I never went random.
You never went random?
No.
So could you not see that there was one clip maybe off the 5 and you're like, there's 6 in total?
Yeah, I did start going random, and I think I started typing in stuff like umbrella.
Did you?
Yeah.
Umbrella, is that important, Sam?
That would be a spoiler.
And did you type anything rude in?
I did type sex in.
Okay, it's not rude, it's biology. Simon,
Did you?
Simon, did you type anything rude in?
Shagging. Trying to find the same clip.
I'm not sure that's biology.
I didn't. Actually.
Did you do it with an apostrophe? Just shagging?
Exactly, yeah. No, I was in caps. Exclamation mark. Did you enjoy the game, Anne?
Oh, yes, I did. It's a frustrating game. I think because you want to complete it, you want to see everything, you want to come away from it going, I got it, I know exactly what happened. And I think even if I completed it and I got very close, I don't know if I would come away, because it's not linear, I don't think I would ever come away going, got it.
It's have you subsequently read the explanation in inverted commas, because I don't know whether they're accurate or not.
Yeah.
Have you? And
yeah.
What did you think?
Yeah.
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 Something happened.
Something
Right.
happened.
How much of it did you get?
I think I got about 60% of what they said happened.
Have you? How much does it? I paid under £4 for it, Sam, off humble pre-order. It's ridiculously cheap. But there are moments in it where it's given me goosebumps. Did you get goosebumps in it?
Yeah. So I played it all in one sitting.
Okay.
And I played it all in one sitting and then walked away from it, and then have since been back a few times to go like, I'm sure I could find something else.
Okay.
So yeah, it.
But there are moments in the story where you go,
oh my god. Well, I mean, there's a very obvious moment where you go, oh god, and it does make your tummy do a little flip because of how because of the role it gives you in the game, which I think is incredible. I think that's the thing that's where games are incredible, where it makes you and the actions that you what you are doing and who you are in that game, when it is important who you are and that it is you that's doing it, when it brings you into the game.
Anybody keeping up with this?
I think we can just end on incredible and makes your tummy do things. Let's.
No, but
well, no, we always end on the score, Sam.
It's great because it makes you feel important and a part of the game. 7 out of 10.
Perfect.
So, what did you play it on? iPad?
iPhone.
iPhone. Okay. I was pretty smug with myself. I was playing on PC and actually doing the clacky.
I didn't need to because it's got the clacky keys in it.
Right.
With stereo panic.
Yeah.
7 out of 10. It's brilliant. Go and buy it.
Sam, what have you been playing?
Well, I don't play games because I'm too busy making them, so I haven't played a game for like 10 years, I think. But so now that I'm the indie man of the moment, I'm trying to kind of pay it forward and talk about other stuff. So I don't know if any of you guys played Black Bar.
No.
There we go. I'm hitting the table.
Dude, make your point.
So Black Bar, iPad, iPhone, it is pure 7 out of 10 gold.
Okay.
It's the premise is you receive a series of letters that have been censored. So you've got a friend who's kind of living in a George Orwell world, and you get these letters from it in a lovely kind of courier typeface. And the government censors will have blacked out words. And all you do in this game is type in the words. So you've got to kind of infer what the words are. And it becomes more and more complicated and more interesting, and it's just awesome. And it's another one. It's a few quid on iPad, iPhone. It might be on Android, I'm not sure. But it was one of those games that, before I did Her Story, just seeing these kind of cool things that really fully executed their idea and had these interesting mechanics. That is a stonker. A 7 out of 10 stonker.
Right.
Okay, I'm in. I haven't really been playing any games this week, mostly for excuses like Sam's, because I have been playing my own game. But I have been playing on Korg Gadget.
Oh yeah,
which is one of the Korgs that is on iOS and was reduced over the last month. And the last day of the sale was on the end of June, so I thought, oh, this is it. I'll buy it. Maybe since I last used Korg DS, maybe I've got brilliant at writing music. So, been playing with that for the last few days, and I'm still terrible.
Right. Really
bad. Everything I try to write sounds like a child has done it.
Great.
Not a good child either, a bad child.
Right.
One of the children you don't want. Yeah. But I still enjoy it. I really, really enjoy it. The interface is great. It's such beautiful UI design. And I thoroughly recommend it. It's 23 quid. I think it's up to 30.
What?
I think it's 30 quid now.
On iPad?
On iPad,
But
yeah.
that is versus buying a thing. It's
buying a full thing.
Well, that's like saying you should.
It is exactly like
Star
saying
Wars
that.
is better than going into space.
It is. It's exactly like saying that.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't say that. It seems daft.
It's too late. I've said it and I've bought
Right.
it.
So how does it compare to, say,
£23?
Wii Music in the kind of scale
Well,
of
it's more expensive.
things about making games, about music?
It is more flexible than Wii Music, slightly more intimidating than Wii Music. I can still only produce garbage in either of them. I thoroughly recommend it. I really do.
For £30?
Yeah, or you can just get that free one. What's the free one I mentioned the other week?
We weren't listening.
No,
Steve.
you were.
No, but I won't recall it. What?
On Propeller
iOS?
Heads. Not Reason. Yeah, on iOS.
Right, okay. Somebody can answer himself.
Thanks.
I was
very
playing
much.
Black Bar at you.
Right, okay. That was our review section. This is Mills DJ. That was Mills DJ until it cut off abruptly. Not sure why.
I think it's because you were about to dive onto the computer and search for that thing. That I couldn't remember what it was.
Still struggling to
Why
find out
is
what
Her
it is.
Story so cheap, Sam?
That's a good question. Well, it's because everyone expects things to be cheap, and I wanted them to take
Again,
a
talking
chance.
about price.
I wanted them to take a chance on the game, so there were people who advised me to make it hugely expensive, so that with the kind of limited audience, you can sometimes command on these things.
Yeah. Well, Steve paid £23 for it if you want.
Figure. Figure is the thing
Figure.
I was talking about, yeah.
I'll tell you how reasonable it is that so I've been playing it on my Surface, and I want my wife to play it, but I don't want to lend her my Surface, so I'm just going to buy it on iOS and lend her my iPad.
You could buy 4 or 5 of them instead of the Korg.
Right, I'll buy it for you. So, yeah.
Fantastic. We've been left a little bit short. Is there any other business, Anne?
AOB, we are not doing Marioke this month.
No, it's cancelled.
We've cancelled it due to lack of interest.
That's not true.
From us in doing it in July because we're busy.
It's hot as well.
and
It's really hot.
We're going to reboot in August.
Yes.
When are we going to do it in August?
In August, we are
Testing you. I do know the answer to
I know
this.
the answer as well.
doing it on the 21st, which is a hashtag Friday.
Which Friday?
The 3rd.
So
The-
third. Right, you tried
we,
doing that. It's a Friday night. We can stay out late.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting, and also it seems quite high risk,
doesn't it,
for us? Because I was having this discussion. The thing about Thursdays is, I know people say Thursday's the new Friday, but no one really goes out
because the old Friday's not the new Saturday.
It's
You still have to go to
complicated.
work
I don't really understand all of this, but the point is that Thursday, win-win. If we bring in ourselves to the bar, then we've helped loading out. Friday, all we can do is drive people away.
Yes,
people will turn up for our new version of Michael Jackson's His Story. 12 tracks all about her story, and it could go badly. So we need everyone's support. We will 21st of August, and we may even ticket it, because we know you only turn up if we ticket it. Otherwise you think, oh well, I'll come in September instead. They'll be there.
Bith'll will be there. The one volume will be out by then.
Really?
It comes out the 18th, doesn't it?
Can we do a song about volume?
Yes,
Pump up the volume.
Pump up the volume, yeah, exactly. Which will be a good song about volume if he's there, or a bad song about it if he's not. Should we do that?
Yes.
Check you're still listening, Mike.
Let's do that. Okay, I've queued up another song. This is Brink.
Sam, what do you think of our running order for the radio show? When Steve just said, right, what are we going to do then?
That was really impressive. I liked it.
Thanks.
Very nice.
Talk about running orders. So what's next for you then? How long were you working on Her Story for?
A bit over a year.
Okay.
It's kind of like a year. I felt it was a nice amount of time to make a game.
So what happens next?
I have a break, I think, at some point. I think at some point my email will stop and I'll be able to return to Twitter without being drowned in mentions and all that kind of stuff. And then just, let myself come up with another idea. I think, with this one I kind of waited a while until the idea was nice, until I kind of loved that idea. So we'll see. Lots of, things percolating and swimming around. If you've got any ideas,
bang man,
off air.
I've made 2 terrible games, so I've got very few ideas. Yeah, no, I think I'm going to start another one actually. So
really?
I think that's next. At the weekend,
after the great success.
After the
other two.
The weekend I started playing around with. I bought. This is news. I bought a Spot the Difference engine in Game Maker.
Really?
Yes.
How much did you pay for this?
I paid £7.
That's
it doesn't come with any instructions, but if you know Game Maker like what I do, Steve, you can find your way around it. So I'm working with Dexter, my son, to make a game called Dexter Difference, which is using photos of us together, where we're changing one slight thing in each of them. And so on Saturday he used Photoshop for the first time. He was rubbish at it, but I was quite impressed with him. And then we talked through sort of puzzles, because he said, I'll change one of Darth Maul's horns. I said, well, that's going to be too small, isn't it? Think about this and the other. And so it's good. So bought it ostensibly for him, but I thought we could probably cause some trouble with a Spot the Difference engine that we could, because we can publish it.
Interesting.
Yes.
Like, could we do like a funny one where it's like the difference between
Spot the Bithel?
Yeah, but then do but make it really insulting. So, like, have the pictures completely different. So, what I don't know. What's the difference between? I don't know.
Bithel and Charles Cecil.
Yeah, but
Writes
funny.
itself like that. Yeah. That's always our problem, though, isn't it?
Well, maybe, maybe we do that. Anyway, what I'm saying is, got the engine. We just need the source. We can do as many. We can split them out because one of your favourite games, Steve, was Sexy Spot the Differences from back in the day, isn't it? And maybe we could recreate poses from classic Sexy Spot the Difference
with
ourselves. Or with
excellent.
Mike Biffle.
All we need is we just need a Ferrari in an 80s European resort. We'd be made. Love it. Okay, excellent.
But yeah, bear that in mind. If we need to knock something together,
we've got an engine.
Yeah,
that's an investment, isn't it?
I've got the seat. Where do I get
we should go to develop next week and just pose as we've got our own engine. The OLL.
I think you need to kickstart it and do a pie chart that says this is where the development money's going. Engine,
right?
Maybe we can get Mark Rain to buy us.
Right. Well, let's do that. Develop next week. For there. See you there, Sam. Thank you for coming in. Where can we follow your work?
Oh, you can go to www.herstorygame.com. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm Mr. Sam Barlow.
Thank you so much for coming in.
We did it spoiler free, guys.
I think we did. We got through it.
Good job.
Congratulations, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. In the background, you can hear a chiptune version of the new Selena Gomez single, which is excellent. That wraps up this show, ties everything together neatly. We have been One Life Left, and we will see you all very, very soon. Goodbye.
See you, bye.
Bye.